Hello everyone and welcome to another challenge run. I felt like doing Arkham City again, and I know this one's gonna be challenging. This is obviously editing me. I'm just saying that it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, and it was honestly a very difficult challenge, but in the end of it, I had fun, and I hope you guys do too. If you guys like my content, please like and subscribe. Comment what you do like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see differently. And if we have anything else to say, I guess we'll get into it. Alright, so as you can tell, the first tutorial fight went pretty well without a hitch. I didn't get hit, but I was very stressed going into this challenge, so before we get into the thick of it, we'll just quickly go over the rules. Number one, no damage, obviously. Upgrades and gadgets are indeed fair game. Catwoman sections are required to follow the run rules and try to have fun. Obviously, damage in cutscenes or forced segments do not count. It only counts if it happens during gameplay. So just like any other standard Arkham City run, we almost get our head bashed in. And then they try a second time and it successfully works, as you can see here. But I will not count that just because it was in a scripted segment, so... Then we relocate Cobblepot's wrist, and just like me every Friday night, we just break out them handcuffs. Then we put Cobblepot to sleep. And then we start our weird, yet interesting roleplay as Batman, the masked vigilante. Whilst failing to get in, I managed to take the first two hits of the run. Then I was getting a little irritated, so I decided to just wail on these guys for a little bit. And surprisingly, the second I stopped taking it so seriously is the second I started doing good, which will probably be a really recurring theme during this run, sadly. As I fail my first few hits, I just start wailing on these guys. And honestly, once again, as I said, going into a fight with a much clearer head, it's actually a lot easier. But since I was getting irritated, it kind of didn't help. So later in the run, you'll see I'm getting a little bit better with that, but it definitely is a issue in the beginning. We then put our loving hands around this guy, and then we get right into another combat section, which surprisingly I did not get hit from Harvey Dent shooting through the thing, which usually happens at least once, but we got lucky this run, thank God. We then deal with everyone else accordingly, but we still managed to get shot in the end. We then scan this crime scene to figure out where the bullet trajectory is actually aiming at. We find out that it is actually from the church itself. So as I got to the church, we chucked Harley to the ground. They wanted us to... And then I managed to get rid of all these guys in a very swift and coordinated way. I mean, it's Batman, so I don't know what to expect, but that Psi upper strength, I don't understand it. I wish I could have thighs like Batman, man. That would be amazing. We then escape one singular blowing up tower this time. And then we learn that the location of Joker's hideout is the steel mill, so we then made our way into the steel mill, as you can see here. Pretty straightforward segment here. It was simple until we got into this segment here, because as you'll see, I get whooped. But in the end, we still triumph. So here is the first major stealth segment of the run, which, usually isn't much of an issue. It sometimes is on New Game Plus, but we're playing on normal, so it's not that much of an issue in the run. We deal with everyone accordingly and pretty fast, so... I then get into a fight with Mr. Hammer, opposite of Mr. Sickle, obviously. And this fight was going pretty well. I beat him down pretty fast. But then, out of nowhere, that one misplaced button press gets me here. Now, I decided I was not getting stuck in this segment for another 20 minutes like I will later down the road with the Catwoman sections. So, once again, as I always say, I decided to wail on these guys, and it was getting a little stressful, I'm not gonna lie, but in the end, I still won the fight, and I still got the final guy. So, I mean, all's well ends well, I guess. Then we get pranked like every 2012 YouTube compilation, except these people don't get shot this time. And then we get hit with a baseball bat 3 times by Miss Shoddy Thoughty Body over here, which, oh my god. And I hate to say this, but Catwoman sections are the one section that I always hate in Arkham City, no matter what. Regardless of my feelings toward the Catwoman sections, I still will gladly play them through the story and get them done. And as you can tell, we are whooping these people's asses. I then made my way into Ivy's facility, where I then proceeded to die. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. 10 times. A whopping 10 times. Whether it be I couldn't click the button fast enough, or the bullshit plants kept on getting me. 10 times. Even though, yes, I was irritated in the end, I was so glad that I finally beat this section. Then Joker gives us his little parting gift right now. As you can see, it's very exhilarating. Then I dealt with another major stealth section, and I'm sorry to say I died a few times. I had to restart quite a few times, and judging from this one little encounter, this does not set a good precedent for how the rest of the run is going to be. But I'm still going to go through it anyway. Yeah. I then make it to the one place where Penguin does not want me to touch.
I don't think I want you breaking into my little home, Batman.
Penguin then punishes us by putting a jammer down, which stops all communications to the Bat computer and all that. So, yeah, this fight actually wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Went down with the blast, and here's the results.
I'll need to destroy all three to shut it down.
So I think last time I was just worrying too much about. I then went over to the next jammer where I knocked out this guy and tore out all 3 terminals. Honestly, the jammers aren't as hard as I thought it'd be, so it's actually a pretty chill ride.
This poster's gotta be over 100 years old. How can it be the same guy? And even if it was, how did Penguin get it?
I then deal with the final jammer guys. You know, just like before, you just tear all 3 of them out. Probably one of my least favorite segments in the entire game, just because it slows down the story. We then get to the museum where we fall victim to one of the lamest passwords ever. So, going into the museum, I was genuinely really scared of the combat encounters, but I'll later soon realize that the combat encounters are the least of my worries during this run. So, at least for the most part. It might be a little foreshadowing to the end. And after those first 2 deaths, I kind of got a little discouraged. But once again, just like earlier, once I kind of stopped worrying about it so much, I did pretty good. I dealt with the first wave of this fight pretty well, and I was really worried about the second wave of the fight. But as you'll see here, I'll deal with it pretty well. I did kind of cheese this fight a little because of the Bat Swarm upgrade, which will probably become a very big use thing later in the run. I will later get the Batarang upgrade, which will help me immensely. But yeah, the Bat Swarm upgrade really helped with this fight because it kept them off of me. I think that's going to be the biggest thing right here, is the game of keep away that I have to play. Because I can't go bum rushing every enemy now, like I usually would. So, first try. First try, there we go. First we get our hand frozen, and then I walk right into one of the very harder stealth segments because of the AI pathing in this map. But, you know, as you can tell, it just goes very, very great. But I do eventually win over them, so. Then, on our way to get the Iceman, we get grabbed by a Russian man, and we just beat the crap out of these guys. Like, they stood no chance against me this fight. Once I was prepped and everything, whoo boy, they were not prepared to get whooped by a really rich man in a bat suit. So, honestly, I was expecting a lot more from this fight too, but it really wasn't much of a challenge. As you can see, I've been using a lot of the Bat Swarm, but it only gets worse from here. We then free the walking ice tray as he stumbles out slowly. Then we take the disruptor from Mr. Freeze's suit, and then we punch Penguin off his really mighty high horse. So I did not have really high expectations going to this boss fight, but playing through this, even though I'm not playing on hard difficulty or on New Game Plus, this is still a pain in my butt, man. Like, literally, this is one of the most annoying parts of the run. Like, I already played the race part while I'm editing this, and I hate to spoil it. The race part was a lot easier than this was. So after 3 years of rethinking and reconsidering all my life choices up to this run, we did eventually manage to get him, but that was not the end of the fight. That was just the end of that phase, which I'm glad that it happened, but it was really frustrating to get to this part. So I will not count this health a loss just because it was part of a scripted segment. So you won't be able to hear the audio at the end of this, but I was really excited. I was really happy. That took a lot longer than expected. I actually had to go take a break from it because I was starting to get a little irritated. But in the end, I always persevere and I always get it. So honestly, this run's not going too bad so far. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it. And then we beat up Penguin's punk ass for thinking he's so cool. And honestly, this is one of the most satisfying parts. Then this very non-Asian ninja breaks out of this little exhibit right here and runs off. And honestly, the first time I did it, I thought it was so cool, but looking back on it now, it just looks very weird. But then we pursue her in a chase across these rooftops. I remember the first time I played this game, I lost her instantly, but that's because I didn't think of using detective vision. But even now, I can play this part without detective vision, because let's be honest, I was just a stupid little kid, and I'm still a stupid little guy now. And we cannot forget the maximum blamage that Robin lays on these ninjas here. Alright, so we are forced to take a little bit of damage here, but I'm not going to count it against the run just because it is a very scripted sequence. So, and we did manage to make our way to the next stealth segment, and I got rid of that pretty fast, no issues at all. But then we got Little Miss Waifu material over here. And then on our way back, we also are forced to take more damage, so not going to count it either. We asked this little ninja very, very kindly the password to this door. We then look like we get sucked off by the manor vacuum cleaner. And then I get a little touch up by my parents about how they miss me and they want me to die also. Thanks, Mom. So first we drink the Fortnite Chug Jug. And then we meet the head of the demon. The semen demon, the head of the demon. I don't know what kind of demon. It's just a demon. We then somehow beat the crap out of him in one go. I was very surprised when I did this. I won't show you the audio, but I'm just letting you know I was excited. Then just like any normal vampiric doctor, we take their blood without consent. Then we finish the stealth segment, and then we get into the combat segment where I died once, but I beat him up. We then had a chat with Old Sharp, and then we made our way to the walking and talking pop school where we broke our cure, and then a very, not long, but a very strenuous boss fight happened. I mean, on normal it's pretty easy, but it was still a little bit of a challenge. I mean, eventually we overcome him, and we beat him up until he turns into the Joker, very oddly. It's very funny, though. We then finally got a visit from the totally not imposter Joker, and, I'm just gonna tell you, this fight did not. This fight made me salty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. Alright, I'm just gonna use this final fight for the boss as a little intermission for you guys. If you guys like this content, please tell me, and if you guys don't, then also please tell me that. I'm almost done editing a lot of this stuff, so going through it, I would say that it's been a long day. I've been editing this all day, but I hope you guys like it. I spent a lot of time working on this, but the challenge so far, I mean, I'll do a better recap towards the end, but the challenge as of right now, I didn't think I was going to have as much of a challenge as I have, but apparently even a skilled Arkham player can still get whooped. But I mean, that's why it's fun to do these challenges, I guess. So, anyway, if you guys like it, please like and subscribe, and I guess we'll get right back into it. Hope you guys have fun, and I will see you in the next edit. We then get crushed. Then what the fuck? We wake up as Catwoman? Anyway, we break into the vault. We say, fuck Ivy's plants. We don't need that bitch. And we die a few times in the combat section. So, honestly, by this point, I was getting really exhausted, and I was making a lot of small mistakes. Instead of being too cocky and underestimating the opponents, I was being not cocky enough and not aggressive enough, where I just kept on getting wailed on. I mean, I still managed to win this fight, but still. And this time, not even metaphorically, Catwoman was met at a crossroads on deciding to save Batman. Which she did. Now, I was really debating on keeping this fight in here, just because I think right now I have a lot of filler content. But I also think that it's cool to see a lot of the fights in 2 speed, or 2 times speed. So hopefully you guys enjoy the view of it, because it looks really funny and it looks really cool at the same time. This fight, I will admit, I died a few times on. I won't show you every death, but I'm just telling you I died around 4 or 5 times during this. And as I said, during this time I was getting really exhausted and I was anticipating the end. Which, don't worry, we'll get there eventually. It just takes a wee little bit of time, and a wee little bit of time I mean like another hour or so. Recording wise, not video wise. We then got to Wonder Tower and knocked the shit out of him. And then Hugo gets his dry cleaning build upped. And Raish, as a nice guy, just recommends us new cleaning spots. Then Joker decides to butt in and just, give us a little bit of a pep talk, but at the same time he motivates us to do some new stuff. And then he just says that Raish is a big old fucking poopy head that doesn't understand good dry cleaning spots. And he's gonna give us a demonstration by blowing, Talia's head on the wall and cleaning it off with Clorox wipes and a little bit of Ajax here and there, the usual nice guy stuff that you see on Reddit and any kind of post in general. We then just wander into the Monarch Theater, and Joker just gets heckin' game ended like a heckin' frickin' fondling noob. I then get my balls fondled for a little too much for my liking by the one boss fight that I thought wouldn't give me a challenge. Batman then summons his inner Genji because he's been playing too much Overwatch. I then get killed a few times during the 3rd phase of the boss fight, but we still managed to beat him in the end, I mean, this is one of the best boss fights in my opinion. Then we get to watch the greatest ending in history go down, again. Then we get to the part of this game where young me may or may not have cried for the first time over a game, and we put him to rest on top of a police car. And then we finally answer the video-long question of, can you beat Arkham City without taking any damage? And obviously, as you can tell, the answer is yes. Now, I just wanted to say, after editing everything in this run, this is honestly a really difficult run to play through just because of how long it took and how exhausting it was. I mean, I did this all in one day. I edited the video all in one day. I finished the game all in one day. I mean, I did the run all in one day, but that doesn't mean that was any less frustrating than usual. But I do have to say that it was fun doing something different. It was fun trying a challenge for once, because when I play this game, I usually don't get challenged. But now it's different. It was fun. So, I just wanted to say thank you all, and to anyone that sat through this entire video. I'm sorry if it wasn't what you expected, but I really appreciate you guys watching me, and I just want to say thank you guys. And I won't mention specifics, but there's a lot of people recently that have been helping me out with a lot of things, and I just wanted to say thank you. You all know who you are. I'm proud of all of you. Yeah. So before I end off this video, I just wanted to say thank you all, and I don't know if you should expect any more content from me anytime soon. Maybe streaming content, probably streaming. I'll probably stream soon, but I wouldn't expect a video like this for a little while, considering this took me a lot of time and effort to make. So I hope this is good enough for you guys. I hope you guys appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, so hopefully you can appreciate this video from me. Anyway, I'm tired. I've been editing all day. I've been recording all day. I'm exhausted. I just want to chillax. I hope you guys understand. But if you like this content, then please I see tired me is having a stroke trying to read. Or not read, speak. Ugh. Tired me is having a stroke doing everything. Anyway, if you guys like this content, please like and subscribe right now or whenever you feel free to do so, and feel free to do that, I guess. Please like and subscribe. Comment what you liked, what you didn't like. Comment what you'd like to see next. Comment what you think I could change in this kind of videos. Because honestly, I want to do a lot more challenge runs in the future. Not just of Arkham City, obviously. I want to do a lot more challenge runs in the future. But just comment what you'd like to see. I'm very open to ideas. Except just realize that it's gonna take a lot more time than this game took me to complete and edit. So anyway, love you guys. Please have a great night, and you get to listen to the snazzy music outro.